Yo, what's up? We're finally done with relearning the project. This is the first stream where I'm going to actually add something new to the game, bro. It's going to be only like optimization stuff, but yet, like, it's actually something new that I'm going to add instead of just reading code. Isn't that insane? Okay, so, yo, Delta, are you here? Or why are you writing on the Discord server instead of writing on the chat? Like this guy is talking on the Discord server instead of here. He's trolling, bro. Okay, so whatever. What I'm going to do is for all the VFX that currently use the particle system. So let me find an example. Like just the key chart aura, for example. Mm, this uses a particle system. You can see the particle. So the idea is to somehow, like, I first have to investigate how to render like a video of the effect and then convert it to like sprite. And also I have to make a system where on the graphics menu you can like swap between the two of them. So right now, before investigating the rendering part, what I'm going to do is just creating the system that changes between the two modes, one being for VFX and the other being PNG sprites. So the reason I have to do this is because some mobile devices are not compatible with the VFX graph, which is what I use for creating the cool particle effects. So I need to use something else, like PNGs. I could also use, it was called Hurricane, I think, the built-in, like the old Unity particle system, but like I don't really want to learn how to use it, so I'd rather just use PNGs, which are like more, of course, they are more optimized, just use PNG. Yo, Camlock and King Kojo, glad you're here. So let's start with this. So every single object that has a VFX, like this visual effect thing here, you see this, right? This visual effect component is the thing where I attach the visual effect asset. This is something I edit through this graph. Okay, this is like the aura. This is, you could say, the code for making the aura look how it looks. So this component here is what activates it. So if I disable it, it goes away. So my idea is to have a graphic configuration that automatically disables this for every VFX object. And instead it enables a new component that I have to add, which is like a sprite renderer. Probably I will have to use even an animator. Maybe. I will see. I think so. Unless I can somehow. Oh, no, I am using the shaders, but well, it's not shaders, it's VFX graph. It's like a particle system. I'm still using it, but I need to give the option to the player to change it to PNGs because all the mobile devices cannot handle it and they crash. Like I have this very old phone here, which I'm trying to use for optimizing the game, and it just crashes if I use the current VFX. Looks like it's a crappy phone, but I want the game to be playable even on a toaster, like even on a microwave. That will be the coolest thing. But I'm not really sure if Unity is capable of having that good of a performance. But I'll try my best. I mean, I just have to like somehow render the particles into a PNG. That's the hard part. For now, I'll just mm, I'm going to take as an example. I want to take like the basic keyboard, and I want to work on that one. I want to get it working on a keyboard, and then after that, I'll just start applying it to all of the VFX. So generally for VFX, I use VFX for both key attacks and also for like smoke particles and that stuff. So that's everything I have to consider. So let's look at the. Mm, where is it? I need to go to my prefabs, and here there should be like key blast. I guess it's this one. I'm not sure though. I'm going to like. Let me just look at the keyboard frames, and let's see what gets appointed. Key blast. No, this is a muscle. Here, Gogeta, Super Saiyan Gogeta Key Blast. And what does. Well, yeah, I'm just going to use this one as reference. So Gogeta, Super Saiyan Gogeta Key Blast. Okay. So Gogeta, Super Saiyan Gogeta Key Blast. This one. Okay. So let's open the prefab. And now here, so how does this work? There's this effect. This is the keyboard. Okay. So the animator of the key blast, if you look at the animator, you have the flying and the destroy states. Okay. So during the flying, you get the keyboard tail object active. So you see the ball. Okay. And if you move this, you move it here on the prefab. Yeah. Like you see that there's like a trail that follows you. So that's what gets activated here. Mm, of course, there's a problem, and like since I'm using trails won't be visible on PNGs, so I don't really know how I will make the keyballs. Maybe for the keyballs in particular, I can just use the same sprites that we use in DBCLF2, and that can be like a reference to DBCLF2. That can be funny. But yeah, like that's that's a problem for a different day. Today, what I want to do is to create a graphics option which, instead of having this visual effect active, it disables it, and instead it creates a new like sprite render. So I'm going to modify this prefab right now. I'm going to add here a sprite render, and for now I'll just like use some default sprite thing. I'm going to use a tree, okay? The keyboard is going to be a tree, at least for now. So the thing is, if the graphic option is on, I need to, instead of it looking like a ball, it has to look like a tree, okay? That's my objective today. So by default, I want the actual visual effect to be active. And then for the keyboard destroy, this is when it gets destroyed. There's that very quick explosion effect. So here I want yet another sprite renderer, and I'm going to use, so when it explodes, the blast will become this very uh, handsome Gogeta sprite. Okay. the blast will become Gogeta when it explodes. First, it will be a tree, and then after that, will be Gogeta. Okay. So now I need to save the. I guess it got saved. The prefab. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the sprite renderer, which by default is disabled. Okay. So now, mm, I'm going to go to the graphics settings script, and I'm going to add a new graphics settings there. So let's look at scripts, general functions. Bro, look, I just know where everything is. Like, my knowledge about this project is over 9,000 right now. So here I have the graphics settings. Okay, so how did this exactly work? You have like the player prefs, which is the place where the player preferences get stored. But then you have like these more local things. Okay, yeah, and the void update, the graphics get actually changed whenever a configuration is changed. So now I just need to add like a new one. You have like the current and the other one. So I need to add, it's going to be a bulk. Mm, quality, how do I call it? VFX, maybe VFX type, and current VFX type. Here I have to do like current VFX type equals the opposite of VFX type. Mm, and here I need to use like the player prefs. So VFX type equals the prefs with bool, I guess. And let's call it VFX type. And by default, for Android, well, for all platforms, I want it to be like true. Actually, no, let me. Well, yeah, that's okay. Then for PC, it's also true. Like, this is only for players whose game crashes or has very, like, weird visual bugs, like glitches. That's what this option is for. Okay, so now this option doesn't need to do any changes on the update. Like, this is an option which only disables one component of the like VFX and enables a different one. So what I need is every time I instantiate any VFX and any like any object which has a VFX, I need like a function to get called which will disable the VFX component and enable the sprite renderer one. Am I getting I'm getting oh, there's no get bool. I guess I'll make it an integer then if there's not get. Here, 0, maybe 1, and here integer, and here this +1. So I need to create like this function here, VFX emission multiplier, is actually called when you instantiate the object. So I have to do something similar to that. So let's see. I will try VFX 5 swap. I don't know. Like I need to give it like a proper name, bro. How do I call it? Like this is a function which disables the VFX and enables the sprite. Okay, maybe VFX to sprite. That's cool. And of course, again, object root. Actually, what if I just use this same function here? Because they are both are called when you instantiate like a visual effect. Mm, Let me see where exactly was called the VFX. Well, I need to search for text mission multiplier. So it's called on the player controller on this O point thing. VFX mission multiplier. Yeah, but like the problem here is that it kind of first gets instantiated and then after that the VFX gets swapped. I don't know if that's a problem, to be honest. Like maybe there's one frame where the VFX is still enabled and that can cause the crash. Maybe. I don't know. VFX emission multiplier. Like when does the instantiating happen? It happens here when you call a point from the point class. Here it happens. And since it happens here, it technically doesn't happen. Like it happens on everything happens on the same frame, I think. Because like this is called at some point during the frame, and then all of this executes like one line after the other. And then when you get to this point, the instantiation happens. Like this gets called and this instantiates the object here with the instantiate instruction. And then right after that, you get this thing. Like you get the call to this function. So I think it's actually okay. And yet, like this is actually very good because here I'm already like searching through all of the VFX that the root has. So if I just use this function, it's going to be way better. Like it's going to be more efficient and everything. So that I don't have to reuse the like do the same loop on two different functions. So I'll just remove this function and use this one instead. Mm, okay, so now So basically, if you are using VFX, then this thing has to happen. Like for every VFX component, you have to get inside of the component, search for the emission multiplier variable, and then edit it, basically. So it matches the VFX particle multiplier. But this is only necessary if you're actually using VFX. But if you are not using VFX, then it should not happen. And instead, the component should get disabled, and you should enable the sprite renderer. So what I'm going to do is, let me, I have this VFX type on current VFX type. Just 1 second, because like it's really awkward to have this as an integer, because I just want it to be like a boolean. I don't know if player prefs can use booleans. Your prefs unity boolean. How do you save a boolean to player prefs? Yeah, like you have to use an integer. Like you have to use an integer. You want either you want it or not. Like there's no direct get bool function. Mm, but well, I'll guess I'll just do this. I'll make it a bool, and I'll do this thing where this is a getting. So I'm going to make, is this, so if it is 0, then like if it is 1, I want it to be true. So equals 1. So if this is 1, it will be true. If it's not 1, then it will be 0. Okay. Now we can use the negation here. And yeah, now it's a bool, so I can use it as a conditional. So if, do I have to check the current or the one that's not current? Mm, let me see. Like when you change an option, what happens exactly? Like on update, it checks if this is different than current. Mm. Okay, so actually I don't even need this. Like, no, wait, I do need it. What I don't need is the current one. Like I can just delete this, because like this just needs to know what VFX type is, what, right when I spawn a blast. Like it's the same as this one. Like as you can see here for VFX particle multiplier, I don't have a current VFX particle multiplier, which means it's the same for VFX type. So now here, if VFX type, okay, if VFX type, then can I like have it here? And let's see. Problem is if I do this and I use now on else, oh yeah, but like I have to use else VFX by like that negation to the VFX type, because if I don't write this, then something which doesn't get inside of this because of the fact that there's no emission multiplier will also disable the VFX, and you don't want that to happen if this is true. So I think just for more having a better code clarity, I prefer having it as a separate if statement. And I want to use brackets to make it even more clear, the separation. And else. Now, what happens if you're using like, oh, actually, I can make a better separation than this. Yeah, like, look, I'll just leave this here. Next type. And then I'll put everything, all of this inside of this if statement. And then else, and then the other one. So this is, if you are using VFX, if you are using sprites for instead of VFX. So this way I avoid using the same for each loop 2 times. It only enters either into this one or the one I'm going to write here. So here we go through the VFX, but instead of like using them, I'm going to disable them. Now, how do I do that? Then I just write VFX dot enable. How was? Don't remember the syntax for this. I want to disable it. Look, unity disable component. To enable and disable components through a script. Mm, if you want to enable or disable, you can put this dot enable like that. Oh, is that true? I'm going to test it. I'm going to try like, bro, I'm getting an error on line 52. Yeah, my bad. So technically right now, if I turn off the VFX type option, then all of the blasts could be invisible. Okay, so let's see if that happens. Bro, what's happening with the, oh, okay, it's fixed. So I'm going to take like, I don't know, Gogeta, whatever. And let's go into general functions, graphic settings, and okay, this it's already turned off. Actually, by default, it's going to become true maybe, but doesn't matter. I can change it during the game. So let's see if this is already working. You can ignore those errors. Okay, so it's not working, or no, probably it's just turned on by default. The graphic settings, I mean. Bro, where's the, oh yeah, it's on don't destroy on load. Yeah, it's on. Now if I turn it off, yeah, okay, perfect. No, why is that? Okay, like as you can see, there are some exceptions. Like there's, or maybe that's not even a VFX. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably that's not a VFX. Like if it were a VFX, it will get disabled. This is probably just like a rectangle or something. Let's see. Body build. Yeah, this is literally a sprite. Also, sprites can have HDR with the glow. Bro, this is literally a sprite and it looks so good. It's epic, bro. Okay, perfect. Okay, the aura, yeah, like the problem with the aura is that I'm not spawning it. So the aura is going to be actually pretty hard because the aura is already spawned. As you can see, those are already sprites. That's why Yodelda. Look, I'm firing invisible an invisible stardust fall. Where I love destroying everything with invisible blasts. Prefer the pin. Bro, they are going to look the same as the current ones, but they are going to be like they will always look the same. Like this is a PNG, bro. What you're looking at right now is a PNG. It looks so goofy. Okay, so bro, I'm not going to do pixelated stuff. Why will I do that, bro? It's not going to be pixelated. That will require like so much time. Bro, why do you want me? Why do you want to delay even more the updates? I'm just going to try render the VFX particles into PNG, but they are going to look very similar technically. I hope. Or well, maybe I could render on a very low resolution, which will make them pixelated, I guess, but I don't know, bro. I can try something, but I'm not going to draw them by hand, of course. Mm, update general quality. Okay, so this is working. It gets disabled, but now I need to enable the sprite render. So like, how do I even do this? Like, first of all, I need to get the object where this VFX is attached to, and then from there I have to find like the sprite render component. So let me see, how do I do that? Like, okay, can I do this sprite render? This could work. If it doesn't work, then I should use the game object in between, but I'm going to try this first. Mm, but okay, I have to store this somewhere. So if sprite r is not null, then sprite r dot enable equals true. Okay, so but if it is null, then I need to throw some kind of exception so that I know that there's something wrong. How do I need to just log error. Mm, oh, I wrote this wrong. There's no right running and that's the VFX game conflict. Okay, yeah, I figured that would happen. Sprite runner. Now, if it all works correctly, Gogeta should shoot trees, okay, instead of blocks. Among Gogeta, you can shoot trees. Have to do it, bro. Okay, right now it's enabled, so he shoots bolts, but now they have to change for trees instead. So let's go to the graphics settings and let's set it to off. Nice. That's what I meant, bro. Look at that. Isn't this awesome, bro? Bro, this is so good. It's actually so good. Right? I should leave this like this. Like, it's way better than can now shoot trees. I can destroy trees with other trees, bro. It's awesome. Bro, I have to add like some joke character which shoots weird stuff like this one. Like, it actually looks so funny for some reason. Let me try it on perspective view. Bro, this is so good. This is so good. Okay, so this means that I actually already called the base for the VFX interchange system. The problem is that I now need to apply this to every single blast in the game. That's the problem. Like I have to go through every single blast and attach a sprite render controller. Because like here you can see this error, there is no sprite render component attached. I wrote that on the as a debug to know if I'm shooting something which doesn't have a sprite render. But I want to check, like maybe I'm wrong because there might be a problem. Yeah, there's actually a problem. Like the smoke effects, they are VFX, so I'm going to have to do something about them too. Like right now, I have solved the problem with the blasts which the the characters can spawn like this. But the problem is that things like the aura, the smoke effects, all of that are not like they don't go through the same path as the blast. So I need to make something separate for them. So mm, like I'm pretty sure like the things will be the blasts which are already solved, then the smoke when you hit like walls, rocks and like trees, then the spark that appears when you hit an enemy, and then the auras. I think that's all of the types of effects that I have to manage. So I'm going to go with the auras because I think it's the worst part. Because like the auras are already spawned at the beginning. So how do you change it? Mm, this is kind of hard. Like if you change the option during the game, the the aura is not spawning again, which means that I have to access the aura even the after the game has started. And in order to do that, I need to go through all of the characters that are on the scene and I need to access their aura components, which means I actually do need to have the I need to use the same thing I use for the rest of the options. I need to have like the current one, and here I have to add VFX type equals that. Then we have then we need a function that will get called whenever this gets changed. So let me create a new function here. I will call update in update what? The VFX type goal option, and something will happen there. And here I need to take like if VFX type is different, no, it's different VFX type, then let's call mm, this function actually only like changes the all it does is change this. So this equals option, and then here I actually have to write logic. So basically, I will need to go through all of the characters and access their active aura and key charge aura. And then the flying aura is a very big problem because again it uses a trail. So the trail basically won't work. if you are using PNG. Like you have this thing, and there's that trail. You see, like I can move it, and the trail follows the aura. It's pretty cool. I don't even know how I did that, bro. So cool. Whoa. But this game has the best Dragon Ball auras in existence. So yeah, like I need to access all those. For example, the trail has a visual effect, but like I can't really mm, exchange it with uh, a sprite because a sprite is fixed. A sprite cannot stretch and curve and all that. So yeah, like either I use like the original VFX system, which is like simpler and it's not as powerful, or I just remove the trail for this case scenario, which is probably what I will do because I don't really feel like learning to use a different particle system. So yeah, I need to access every character on the scene and then access all of their auras and remove this. Actually, I can just get can do it instantly by accessing player render because like all of the VFX that they have is the auras. They don't have any other VFX. So we can just get into player render and then use the get component in child function and get all of the visual effects and disable them in a loop. And that's it. Mm, but there's this problem where like for VFX, I'm actually using like I have two sides. Wait, it's easier to see on the active board. Like I have two sides, right side and left side. So if I swap this for a PNG, I don't know if I'll do like one PNG for the left side and another one for the right side, or what will I do? Probably I'll just put both on the same one, and that's it. Probably. Mm, okay, so I'm going to do that. I'll just go through all of the characters on the scene. So let me look at the music manager. So the character dig is where all the characters are stored. And I need to get this, like the opt is the reference to the character game object. So that's what I have to iterate over. But how do I get the instance to the singleton is what I don't remember exactly. Let me look at search for text. Singleton. Okay, here. Graphic settings, and now here I need to get like a reference. With object manager, and then inside of here I have to um, list post object manager control deep. What's the key? Game object. This is kind of weird. Like character register. Oh, game object and scene object. Like I'm using character both as a key and also part of the value. That's pretty weird. Like, how do I even iterate over a dictionary? I don't remember how to do that. Okay. To, I have to do like reads or in object manager dot character dot value or value, something like that. Then mm, opt is called. It's to like just to test if it works. We're going to test the debug mode and I'm getting an error. Invalid expression. Yeah, like I called it star, which is a data type. Oh, that's right, C8. And now type and identifier are both required in for its statement. Bro, I wrote this as if I was like writing Python. That's stupid. I don't even know how to use it for it. One down here, right? Okay, I have to write like the data type. Okay. So this is game object. Are you happy now? Nope, it's not. Does not contain the definition for value. Values, maybe with an S. Plural. Nope. Maybe with like this, like that. Yeah, it worked. Cannot convert scene object to game object. Yeah, makes sense. My bad. Can't I? What if I do like? I don't think this will work, but of course it doesn't. No wait, no, that won't work, right? Okay. Mm, I'll just do this. Scene object. Okay, finally there are no errors. And now I just want to see if I get like a list of the current characters every time I change the option on the menu. No, actually, will it happen? Well, yeah, it should. Let's see. Bro, why do I fear the aura? Oh, because I have it enabled. Okay, let's see. Need to turn off this. Bro, what? It just keeps looping while it's enabled. What did I write wrong, bro? Oh yeah, I never like added this line. I never made equal the actual variable to the temporal variable. So I have to do current VFX type equals VFX type. Yeah, that's it. Bro, I'm still leaving the aura activated. Okay, now every time I change the option, the list of characters should appear. And yeah, like every time I click here, you can see this number increases. So it's working. And now here, instead of just debugging this, I need to access all of the VFX style components, which I can do by copying this line here. So get components in learn visual effect true. What does the true do? Why is there a true? What? I don't think I care. Or maybe I do care. Let me check. Maybe get components in learn. Include inactive. Yeah, I want to include inactive. So for every single VFX, no, not for every single one, like only the ones that are inside of the player renderer. So I'm going to actually, mm, how did this work? I think I have to use like the, no, I'm actually, maybe transform, then find, what's it called? And then then the game object. I don't remember how to navigate, but maybe I did it right. Nope. That's content. Oh yeah, this is what? Oh yeah, I have to write here. Oops. game object does not have transform. Well, yeah, if I write it like that, transform. Oh, it's working. I actually remembered the syntax. All of the muscle memory is coming back. Okay, so I'm iterating over, well, I'm getting all of the VFX components, and now, again, what I have to do is disable the VFX and enable the sprite render. So let's do that. Sprite render. Mm, so I need to do a loop. So you disable the VFX, and then you get the sprite renderer, and you enable the sprite renderer, and that's it. It's exactly the same. So I'm going to read some comments with every hyper on screen. Then mm, get get all the VFX from the character, disable the every VFX, and enable the sprite renderer if it exits. I'm actually just going to like remove this debug log. There's actually no point on having it because like if there's no sprite, I will notice because the character will literally shoot something which is invisible. So yeah, like I'm just going to delete that because like the bugs actually like they kill the performance of the game. That's why the Stardust Fall was so bad on the first alpha version. Spawn character. Where's the other one? Is it down here? Yeah, we want to delete it. Okay, so now technically this should work. So I'm going to add here, as an example, I'm going to add a sprite render. By default, it's going to be turned off. Well, actually, I didn't do it right. No, there's a problem. I just realized that this will only this will always turn off the VFX, but what do you want to happen is that it turns off if the setting is off and it turns on if the setting is on. Right now it always turns off no matter what. So if VFX type, okay, that's correct. But now here it will like if VFX no VFX type is true, then this has to happen. While if it's false, then the contrary to that needs to happen. So now this is true and this is false. So the opposite. And now technically everything should be working epically. Bro, what? Why did it just turn off? This is not good, bro. So, bro. Oh, yeah. Of course, I did it incorrectly. Like, I did it the other way around. Okay, now it's fixed. But yeah, like you saw that it actually worked. Like this one became disabled and this one enabled. So it's actually working. You just have to adjust that condition and now it should be work fine. Okay, now the auras are there and the sprite renderer is off. And if I turn this, so I'm going to like enter active aura mode, and now you're going to see that it disappears and appears. Very epic. Now there are no effects at all. So yeah, it's working perfectly. Now I just need to like create PNG replacements for the cool one. Like the problem with PNGs is that like the auras I created for this game have physics. Like they, as you can see, they flow. Like they go behind you. They are not just like attached to you. You know, so that will get lost for people who use PNG. But like it's the only way to make some devices work. Mm. So now the other thing that was left were the like the smoke particles and the sparks, I think. So when do those particles appear exactly? Let's see. Let's go into prefabs. Maybe you have destruction. So here you have. Okay, it's not only smoke. It's also the like the destruction effects when you destroy like a rock. Mm. And so yeah, the block heat thing. You have the cutting. No, continuous beam. Like the problem is that some of these do not use the appoint function. They just get spawned with the instantiate function directly, and that means they don't go through the graphic settings. And you need to find a fix for that. They don't know where are those things stored. Mm, no, no. Where is this, bro? Like, at which point in the code did the smoke particles get spawned? Maybe it's on Carbox receiver. A destructive object. Instant. Yeah, there it is. Destruction prefab. Okay, but this is when it gets destroyed. Hit prefab. Okay, hit prefab. It's also a prefab that you have to like specify. So the objects that you hit, you can like specify what effect you want to appear when you hit them. So for example, let's look at one like a rock. This rock here, it uses small smoke, which is like this. Just this. Wait, let me see. Why did it appear so far, bro? It's just that small smoke that appears when you hit it, and then when you destroy it, you use big destruction, which is this like bigger smoke thing. So yeah, like those are the only three that I use for this kind of destruction elements. So like the code is here. This part instantiates the destruction one, and this one is the hitting one. So I need to access the the element of each I'm instantiating, and I need to disable their. Actually, I can just call the function I use for a point. I can just call VFX emission multiplier, and that's it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So easy, actually. Just have to do like just have to do like they have a reference to mm, point with singleton instance graphic settings. Okay, so let me create a reference here. Graphics settings. Yes, for the VFX graph settings on after on the agent people destroy VFX. Yes. Now here after I instantiate this. Well, first on the awake, I have to do group fix settings equals this. Then here I do graphics settings dot VFX emission multiplier instruction, and that's it. Like literally that's it. I don't have to do anything else. This automatically goes through all of the VFX components and it disables them. So then I just need to do the exact same thing here. But I need to like get a reference first. Or maybe I don't even need to. Like I can I just put this. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. That will be very bad code. I'll just create a temporal thing, give object heat particle equals this, and then here heat particle. And technically, right now, it should be done. Like it's as easy as that. There's an error on line 33 which says that graphic settings does not exist or something. Probably it's like not caps lock. I'm still getting the same. Bro, what? Didn't I do the same thing? Where was it? Here. No, not here. Um, how's the classical graphic setting? Yeah. So what's the problem, bro? Oh, it's graphic, not graphics. Okay, now there are no errors. So right now, if I have the option disabled and I hit like the destructible assets, nothing will show up here. Bro, what's this, bro? Line 39? Bro, what? Line 39. What's the problem exactly? The reference not set, for instance of an object. Hmm, maybe this is too early. What if I use the start? Okay, it got fixed apparently. Probably await didn't work because the instance of the root singleton was not created yet. Because like let's look at root singleton. On root singleton, the instance gets created on the await and the DOM destroy and load and all of the references, which means that if the await function from the destructible asset gets called first, which it might, then like you're trying to set a reference to something that does not exist yet. That's why I need to use start here and do add. Okay, so right now smoke should appear because the option is turned on, but if I turn it off, now nothing at all here. As you can see, there's nothing. It just like the rock just gets into the ground, but there's no destruction effect. Okay, this is pretty epic. This means that I think right now there are no left VFX objects that I have not managed. So technically, like the current version, like right now there are no VFX. So right now this version should work on any device probably. So now that all of this graphic system is done, what I have left is to actually create the rendered PNGs. Oh, there's one thing left actually. There's like the sparks when you hit an enemy. So let me take it, bro. Okay, here. Okay, I just detected a problem. Like I just spawned Vegeta and like he he didn't get through the graphic settings. That's why his aura is activated. So this means that I need to also like every time a new character spawns, I need to also make sure that their aura gets the proper setting. Yo, Delta, I'm doing great progress right now. Mm, so how do I do that, bro? Like actually, like, there are no elements on the game right now that can spawn players in mid gameplay, so it's not a problem right now. But it will be a problem in the future when I have any element which spawns characters mid gameplay. So, but like I can't really do anything right now because there's no spawning system yet. So I'm just going to ignore the problem as of now, and when the problem reappears later on, then I'll fix it. So right now I have to. I wanted to see the sparks because the sparks maybe are not managed yet. Actually, they are not. Like, where do they even spawn? Spark, spark, will destroy. What is this? Spark, spawn spark. Okay, here it is. This is on the hit controller. There's this spawn spark thing. So here after the instant oh, also for the spawn block hit, yeah, of course. So here I need to call again the function thing. So let me first of all get a reference to the graphic settings. And now after I spawn the spark, I have to mm, call this thing here. I need to do like game output spark equals this, and then spark, and now on the spawn block hit, it's saying the object block, and now everything should be ready, probably. So to test this, I'm just going to have two characters at the same time. Why is Super Vegeta's aura active? Like, it's the reason, bro. Why did I leave it like that? Okay, I need to make Vegeta have be on the team too, for example. And now, right now, there's a spark. You can see there. It's not very noticeable, but yeah, there's a spark. I promise, bro. Yeah, you can see there the spark. And now, if I turn this off, now there are no sparks, bro. And then about the defending, how do I even do that, bro? Oh, they are kind of tree. It is so like for some reason I assigned the player one controls to both, so this is very awkward. Okay, now no, bro. I need to defend a pig. Okay, okay, yeah, they are getting close. Okay, so now no, bro, no, I killed him. No, okay, I'm going to stop being stupid and I'll just disable the player one controls for Vegeta. I don't understand how, like sometimes some some characters get automatically assigned controls somehow. Like on my scripts, the only place where controls are assigned are on a player spawner, and this only gets called when you go through the main menu. Like I don't even know how this Vegeta have right now the player to controls. Like it's just Unity doing some random stuff. Okay, so right now there's Spark. So this there's no longer Spark. And now if I block, there's no block. And if I enable it back, then there's block effect. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, right now everything is ready, basically. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to document what I did today, and after that I'll probably end the stream because like I still have to investigate how to convert from like a VFX to a PNG, like how to render the thing. It shouldn't be too complicated, I guess. Like in a worst case scenario, I can do like a green screen. Like I can add a literally wait, can add like bro, why did the cube spawn there? So on the worst case scenario, I can add this, make it like a green screen. I don't even remember how to change the color. Well, whatever. I will like change this to green, and then I will like just record the different effects on top of this, and using video edition I will remove the background and just use that as as the effect. That could be like the worst case scenario, but there might be a better way to do it, I hope. Okay, so let's document this part of the graphics settings, I guess. Well, actually, there's something else I have to do. I have to add to the menu the option because right now I have to go through here. But I will add it to the menu when I remaster the menu. There's no point on adding it right now if I will completely revamp the menu on this. So I'll just comment it here. Mm, actually, I'm going to add like a new white square. VFX types. White. There's an option for swapping VFX graph objects for sprite renderers. This from all mobile devices are compatible with VFX. Okay, so basically there's this Boolean option. Mm, So depending on selected option, when calling VFX emission multiplier function either adjusts with VFX implement or adjusts with VFX components once what was it called? Emission multiplier property, or if the VFX no wait, if they are on and if they are off when disables all VFX components and enables the right render component within the same parent project if they exist. And that's it. And then this is used for both component blasts and for destruction VFX and sparks where slash block VFX. But transfer auras work differently. And now I'm going to explain the auras. Auras are instigated from the beginning active parts of the light points. So whenever the VFX type will changes, it graphics getting to integrates over all factors on the same with the arrays from where from the contact manager screen, and then it either disables the VFX of every character and enables sprite renderers, or does the opposite if you are changing only option. Okay, and that's it. So yeah, I'm going to end the stream now because I've done what I wanted to do, which is like create a system which entertain this one type of thing for the other. Now, after ending the stream, I'm going to try out this new version on my old, very old, crappy phone to see if the game finally doesn't crash. And if it crashes, then that means that I have to change the VFX for sprite renderer even earlier when I do, which I don't know how will I do it, but well, I will see. I hope it just works like it is right now. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you again next time, maybe tomorrow or maybe not. We will see. Goodbye.